Hey, good morning. This is Jamey from Stonemaier Games, and I'm here as I usually am on Wednesday around this time to share Stonemaier Games news, to answer your questions, and to discuss random topics. Today, as always, I have a few random topics of my own to discuss. Starting with, actually, let's start with a chocolate of the day. Sometimes I forget to mention my chocolate of the day. There might be a few of them today. We'll find out if there's more than one. Um, but today's chocolate of the day will probably be I saw on sale at the grocery store the other day, they had endangered, what is it? Endangered elephant, endangered species. It's a name of a chocolate bar that has the word endangered in it, and it's a really creamy milk chocolate. And so I think that will be my chocolate of the day. I've already started to delve into it, but I'm trying not to eat too much of it every day. It is so good. I think it's endangered species, but feel free to check on that if you want. We have now announced everything that is in Libertalia. So last Wednesday. There were a few things to reveal, like the rule books. And now those rule books, here's the multiplayer rule book and the Automa rule book. Now they have all been revealed. Good morning, Tony, Dominic, and George. Thanks for joining me. And so that's all been revealed, and gameplay and playthrough videos have now been starting to be posted by reviewers. And reviews, as of yesterday, have started to go live. So over the next 2 weeks leading up to the March 2nd pre-order, you'll see more and more reviews. They're all on the Libertalia page of our website. As usual, I don't watch reviews of our own games because I don't want that to influence me in any way as a publisher. As a designer, I definitely want to learn from reviewers, but I don't want to be biased in terms of the reviewers that they select based on whether or not they like our games. I want that there to be a gap there for a lack of bias, so we can better serve you through those reviews. And so I don't know what they said. So there might be some very negative reviews on there. I don't know. I hope not. But hopefully there are some positive reviews as well, and you can find them all on our website. Hopefully I'll be able to consolidate them all there, but there might be some that I missed. So yeah, Libertalia. I'm happy to answer any questions about Libertalia that you don't know. I know there's a lot of stuff that I've covered over the design diaries, but I don't expect you to read all of them. So feel free to let me know if you have any questions about Libertalia Winds of Galecrest before the March 2nd pre-order. I guess a few things that happened over the last couple of days. Valentine's Day was on Monday, and we had a nice quiet Valentine's Day. We watched some romantic comedies over the weekend. A new movie called Marry Me and a new movie called I Want You Back. We enjoyed both of them. And we ate cupcakes. So we had a pretty simple Valentine's Day, but that was nice. I like the idea of simple Valentine's Days instead of building up everything to be a part of Valentine's Day. Instead of spreading out the love until a little bit every day instead of just on one day. And also, the Super Bowl was on Sunday. We watched the Super Bowl while also playing a board game. Megan's not a big football fan, so we watched a little bit while we ate dinner, and then we played a game while watching the rest. And I thought it was a pretty good game. It was entertaining. I didn't have a lot of stakes in either of the teams. My team is the 49ers, and they narrowly missed making the Super Bowl. But yeah, I thought overall it was a pretty good, entertaining game. Did you all watch it? Did you have a favorite commercial, a favorite moment in the game? Are you happy with how it turned out? And what did you do for Valentine's Day? Did you play a certain game on Valentine's Day? We played a cooperative game, so I think cooperative games are good for Valentine's Day. Nick says that he can't wait to play both the old and the new Libertalia with the Beans and Dice guys this weekend. Oh, that's cool. So you're going to play both the original Libertalia, 10 years old Libertalia, and the new Libertalia. That's cool. That's a fun combo to try out. Anthony says he got arts and architecture for his birthday last week and can't wait to try it. That's awesome, Anthony. Happy birthday to you. I also think there are a few other big birthdays happening today. Who were those other birthdays? Facebook reminded me about who were those two birthdays? Now it doesn't show it to me because I'm on Similar Games. But there are two birthdays today of people that I wanted to mention in relation to the industry. But George says he likes my new outfit and haircut. Yeah, I thought I'd dress up a little bit for today's live cast, and I gave myself a haircut over the weekend. It's always a gamble, but that's what I do. I give myself my own haircuts, and I'm glad it turned out okay. It's a little iffy in the back, but it worked out okay. Michael said he played Obsession on Valentine's Day. That's a good game for Valentine's Day. From the title alone, it may not sound like it, but Obsession is kind of based on what Victorian England, kind of the Pride and Prejudice era of England, Victorian England, and so yeah, I think that's a good game for Valentine's Day. Tim said that he got his wife cartographers, and they've been playing it a lot this week. And Alexa says that they played Love Letter on Valentine's Day, as well as an 18-card escape room game called The Cupid Crisis. Well, that's interesting. It was a very nice way to spend the evening. That's great. I also saw that there was kind of a Valentine's themed version of Patchwork, which sounds really interesting to me. I love Patchwork. I don't think we've played it in a while, but I do love Patchwork, and I wouldn't mind getting a fresh version um, for Valentine's Day. That's a nice little touch. Francesco is joining us today. Designer Francesco just came out with a game called Momiji. Francesco, I have actually received my Kickstarter copy of Momiji. I'm eager to play it, but I haven't gotten it to the table yet. And Tom says it's LeVar Burton's birthday today. Kevin said for Valentine's Day he taught his friends 10 after eating some special imported ice cream. How did you get imported ice cream and have it like hold up, Kevin? I'm curious about that. What else is going on? So one of the big topics that I covered in a video and a blog post this past week is about how to pitch your game to a publisher. A lot of people have asked me about this recently. And so I thought, okay, I'll make a video, I'll do a blog post about it. And I kind of consolidated it into 4 different steps, 4 key steps. Let's see what those steps are. I think the first one was research, selection, okay, preparation, selection, submission, and the conclusion, what happens after you submit the game. And so that's both a blog post if you prefer to read and a video if you like to watch things. So you can see if you were thinking about someday submitting the game to a publisher for publication, some of the things to think about as they're going through that process to increase your chances of having a good experience with it. Not necessarily having success, but to just have a good experience with it, I think, as a designer, and to leave a good impression with a publisher, even if they don't accept your game. Let's see. Molly says that they're hooked on viticulture, not Valentine's, viticulture lately, and I'm excited for the new content coming out. Then my wife and I can use the new mama cards. Yeah, one of the few things that I've announced about the new viticulture expansion is that it switches the colors for the original mama and papa cards, which we're now calling pink and blue cards. And so in the new expansion, this is the only thing I can reveal with the new expansion right now, but in the new expansion, there are pink papas and blue mamas. And so you can play, if you just play with the mamas and papas in the expansion, they are, again, heterosexual couples. However, if you combine those cards, if you shuffle them in with the original cards, the original pink and blue cards, you'll then have a mix of male and female pink cards and male and female blue cards. And then you can end up with a variety of couples. You can end up with 2 men as a couple, 2 women as a couple, or a man and a woman as a couple, just as your mama and papa at the beginning of the game. That's something that I've been looking to fix for a long time because I believe that love is love, and if 2 people love each other, then that's a beautiful thing, whether they're heterosexual or homosexual or whatever they identify with. And I'm glad we're bringing that to viticulture finally. So Molly, thanks for being excited about that. I am really excited about that as well. Tom says that he's a huge fan of Tokaido and can't wait for Nimiji. Yeah, Nimiji is one of the few projects that has been going on for a long time that I still get the project updates for instead of unsubscribing, because after a while, after the 50th update for a project, I tend to kind of not care as much anymore. I just wanted to show up at my door someday whenever it shows up. But Nimiji, I continue to subscribe to the updates. I don't know why, but I continue to get those Kickstarter updates, and I'm excited to get my copy as well. It looks really beautiful. And it looks like it actually might be shipping somewhat soon. Susanna is here, our retailer relationship manager and friend, Susanna. She says, I'm curious how you started blogging. Was it board game related or more general at the beginning? Yeah, I started blogging around 15 years ago, a personal blog. A friend, I think, started like a live journal blog. That was one of the first blogging platforms way back in the day. And I was curious about it, and so I started just writing about random stuff. And generally, I was trying to be funny, probably not succeeding very often. And then it started, I wrote about relationships for a long time. And then I continued to try to be funny, not always funny. Sometimes I was way too juvenile, and I'm embarrassed by some of those old posts for sure. And then, delved into, now I mostly talk about things that I consume, like food or movies or TV shows or books, things that and sometimes games, but I leave games more for my YouTube channel. But yeah, Susan, I started a long time ago and just wanted to write, because one of my passions, one of the things I love is to write, and I have things that I think about that I want to share and talk about them with people. And so that's why I started the blog, and I think it was around 15 years ago. I think it was around 2008, maybe 14 years ago. And I've written since then. I mean, since I got kind of started up, I used to write 5 personal blog posts a week. Now I usually write 3 or 4. But that's gone on every week for the last 14 years. So between 3 and 5 blog posts a week every week for a long, long time. It's a lot of posts. Chad says my last video about pitching a game was awesome. Thank you, Chad. I really appreciate that. Um, and he says, I bet the views were so high because so many people follow you because of your transparency. Yeah, I hope. I hope that. I don't know. I love the value. And this kind of goes back to the blogging element. I think it's neat to share pieces of myself. I don't want to put that on anyone else. It's neat to share pieces of myself and my thoughts and the things that I've learned, the mistakes that I've made, openly with people, so they can hopefully gain value from that. Yeah. So I'm glad that was helpful. Darren says, have I played the new Dune Imperium expansion? I haven't yet. I bought it, but I actually bought it as a gift for someone else in the hopes that I could then play that copy with that person. But we haven't been able to play in-person games with one of my groups for a little while now. And so I'm hoping to get back to that in a few weeks. That would be awesome. Darren says that he got his copy, but he also had to start self-isolating. We haven't had to self-isolate in a little while, but yeah, it just happened to not align with that particular group of gamers. George says he's looking forward to the next section of Rolling Realms this week, if any. Yeah, I might start to switch to an every other week format, but I do plan today to do a live play of Rolling Realms this afternoon after lunch, maybe around 12:30 my time. That's in about 2 hours. So that's my plan to do it. I haven't actually even randomized the realms yet, so I need to do that. I'll pull my cards over here so I can make sure I remember to do that. And I also need to reveal the Libertalia realm in the near future. I'll make a note about that. I need to remember to reveal Libertalia realm. Yeah. Mario says, additional to Libertalia and the metal coins, will you have some other products available on your web store? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we have, everything that's in stock in our 4 different web stores, each associated with a different fulfillment center, the US, Canada, Australia, and the UK/Europe, or/EU. UK is part of Europe. Yeah, we have, I don't want to say all of our products are in stock, but many of our products are in stock, and you can order those products along with your pre-order. The only small catch there is that we get we typically get a lot of pre-orders all at once, and so it takes a few weeks to actually ship them out. That's why we call it a pre-order. And so if you do order something else so you might order something that we have in stock that we could normally ship right away, but because if you pre-order like Libertalia, then the shipping might take a little bit longer than normal. Not because you've combined things, but normal compared to a normal order for that product. So like right now, if you ordered Scythe on our website, it would probably ship to you in a few days. But if you order it during the pre-order combined with Libertalia, just because if we're getting so many orders all at once, it might take a week or so. So I just want to put that out there to let you know, as long as you have a little time to wait before ordering something else or before receiving whatever you order, that's totally fine. Otherwise, if there's urgency behind it, you might want to order it right now. No, that was a long answer for a very simple question. Win says that his new obsession is the game Import Export. He's so surprised not many people are talking about this game. It's amazing. I'm glad you're having fun with it. I haven't played Import Export. Pete also said, have I played Boone Lake yet? The latest from Alexander Pfister. It's really fun, but it might be a touch heavier than your personal sweet spot. I'd love to try it, Pete. And really, after playing and falling in love with Ark Nova recently, I am realizing that a heavy game with a simple action selection system might be right up my alley. And so if that's the case in Boone Lake, which I think I've seen the action selection system, it's very icon heavy, but it does look fairly simple. It's something that I definitely need to very least try. I'm happy to try any of Alexander Pfister's games because they're so creative, they're so unique. So I haven't played it yet, but I'm eager to try it. Jean-Francois says, you're my hero, Jamey. Thank you. I don't know if I'm hero worthy for anybody, but I appreciate that you saying that. He says, he's reading my blog over and over again. It's unbelievable all the useful information that I give to creators. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm glad that content is useful for you. That means a lot to me. Brandon says that he received Nimiji. Oh, we were just talking about Nimiji. You actually received it. That's awesome. It's one of the most well-produced and beautiful games that I've ever seen. It's well worth the wait. Oh, that's awesome. No, I can't wait to receive it. Yeah, I love the art in Tokaido, and I think the same artist is working on this one. But I'm curious to see what the production looks like too. Yeah. Oh, now I'm really excited about it. Ali says, how much video content do you consume a day? And let me expand that a little bit because I do consume podcast videos and blogs a day. Usually, so I use Feedly as my blog feed. And so I don't want to say that I read hundreds of blogs a day, but I see hundreds of posts from blogs a day and end up clicking on a few of them a day. A few of them that interest me, I'll click through and see what's going on those blogs. As for a number of videos that I actually watch, so I use YouTube to follow of hundreds of video creators. The number of videos that I actually watch per day, usually around maybe 5, usually, and on 2 times speed. And if a video is really, really long, so I'm typically looking for videos that are between, I don't know, 5 and 20 minutes, which is a big range, but there's some videos that are much, much longer, and I'll just kind of click through them for different parts of them to get a feel for what the game is or whatever they're talking about. But I'll watch that at 2 times speed. I generally don't want to spend more than 10 minutes on a video if I can help it, in terms of watching it. And just because of all the other things that I need to do to help run Stonemaier games. Tim says that the Isle of Cats expansions are also beginning to ship next week. That's exciting too. I can't wait to get the Kittens expansion, or the Kittens module for Isle of Cats. Navia has a very nice comment. I feel like I need to deflect this a little bit, but I'll read it. What Navia says is, thank you for being a leader in diversity and inclusion in board games. One of the many, many reasons I love Stonemaier games. Even more excited for the viticulture expansion now. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it's been an interesting journey with that. Because diversity inclusion has always been really, really important to me. But also I've struggled, I think, personally with the best way to approach that and the best way to bring that into my life and be more active and be more actively inclusive and in terms of Stonemaier games. So thank you for saying that and being a part of my journey and Stonemaier Games' journey as we try to do better at that. I feel like I'm more of a follower with that, though. I'm kind of following people who really inspire me. But hopefully maybe I can be a leader as well at some point. But it's definitely a learning process for me. And so, yeah, thank you for being part of that journey. I really appreciate that. Tim says that he taught his 4-year-old daughter My Little Scythe the other day, her first Stonemaier game. That's awesome, Tim. Did she have fun? Oh, no, you said she enjoyed herself. And you may consider Between Two Cities as her next experience. I'm curious how that goes over. Very different tactile experience between those two games. Near says, how much... Okay, Near, thank you for... I know you said this question to me the other day, but this is a great place to ask it. You say, how much of a financial hit is it for publishers to not consider adding a solo variant to their games? How much is solo important financially for publishers, if at all? So I must admit, I don't think too much about the financial aspect of solo. Solo modes, solo variants in games. I think about inclusion. I think about including people who want to play games solo. And I think that part of the market is about 5 to 10%. I think 5 to 10% of people are really excited about robust solo modes, or at least a good solo mode. And if you don't include a solo mode, then you are essentially excluding those people, not out of any intention, not out of any harm, but you are potentially including people who only play games solo. And so for that reason, for the reason of being inclusive for those people, or for people who want to play games solo all the time or sometimes, I think solo mode is really important. Financially, it does cost a little bit of money to include a solo mode. Like with Libertalia, we have an Automa rulebook, so this is money, and we have a whole deck. I'll put them out here. We have a whole deck of Automa cards. So here is the Automa player aid, and then a whole deck of Automa cards that are specific to the Automa. And so yeah, that's money too. And so on that side, there is an additional cost, but I think there is the additional benefit that by adding a solo mode that hopefully goes over well with people, we are expanding our market to 5 to 10% of people who wouldn't otherwise buy the game. So the financials of it heavily depend on the game itself and how much the game costs to make, how much the solo mode costs, how many people actually buy it. But yeah, I would estimate around 5 to 10%. Daniel says, by creating a new edition, you've opened Pandora's box. So he's talking about Libertalia, the new edition of Libertalia. Was it ever a concern that you will now be approached for every out-of-print game? Sorry if you already spoke to this. No, it's not a concern. And I think it's great when people are excited about a game that they want to see a new version of, or that it's out of print. And I think it's something that we'll very rarely do. I can't say that the experience of creating a new edition of Libertarian. Well, I can say the process of it has been great. The just I don't know. The threads on Board Game Geek have surprised me a little bit. So I don't know if it has been a very fun. I don't even know what to say because I've enjoyed a lot of the process of revealing Libertalia, but because what some people love about it, Libertalia is anchored in the original version, and we wanted to do something fresh and new with the new version. I think it's hard to get people unstuck from that original version and help them be open to all the what I think is great stuff that we added mechanically to this new version, just because it looks different. And so, yeah, it has been a Pandora's box in a variety of ways that I did not expect. Darren says, can I envision a scenario where you design a game that for whatever reason doesn't fit Stonemaier Games' design model, so you'd have to publish it via another company? Probably not. I don't think I'd spend time. I mean, I spend 70 hours a week working on stuff for Stonemaier Games. I don't really have extra time that I would want to spend for another company. There are small exceptions to that, like the fan faction I designed for Terra Mystica recently. It wasn't a lot of work, but it was a little bit of work, and I enjoyed doing it. And also, somewhat contractually, I am obligated to only create things for Stonemaier Games. And this is, I don't think this is a huge concern of my shareholders, but it was an important thing at one point once we started to accept outside shareholders that that my attention not be divided between a bunch of other projects for other companies and Stonemaier Games. So rather, kind of in our operating agreement, I committed to only designing things for Stonemaier Games. Yeah. So I don't envision that happening. Yeah. Tim says, do I know anything about Morton's solo mode for Terra Mystica? I know you don't play solo, but the only one I've found doesn't appear to be available in America. I don't know anything about that, Tim. No. Ricardo says he's getting ready for some Rolling Realms and My City tonight. 2 games that I love, one of which we published, the other of which I played through last year. And he says, have I tried My City? What do I think about it? I loved My City. I loved it. I love the idea of a campaign game where the games themselves take 20 to 30 minutes. It meant that we could really play a bunch of games in one sitting. We often would play 3 games in one sitting, or if we just wanted to sit down and play a quick game after dinner, we were able to do that too. And we still had that sense of progression in a campaign game. Brilliant format. I love the simultaneous play. I mean, I really, really love My City. I had a great experience with it. Did I play it last year? I don't even know if it should have made my top 10 list of 2021. Let me see if it did. Favorite games. Okay. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. My favorite games of 2021. Where can I find this? Here we go. Favorites. Okay, favorite games of 2021. Did I include My City? Oh, no, I didn't because it didn't come out in 2021. So, yes, yeah, it was on my list of games released before 2021 that I really loved. If I had played it the year that it came out, it definitely would have been near the top of that list because I had a great experience with My City. If you love polyomino games and you're looking for a campaign game that fits that description, like really short, snappy games, highly recommend My City. Susanna says that her new favorite game is Meadow. She says she loves it solo and looks forward to playing it with her kids soon. It's so beautiful and the gameplay is puzzly and fun. Ooh, Susanna, you might have to bring that to game night sometime because I'd love to try that. I've heard good things. It looks beautiful. I'd love to try it. Oh yeah, so one of the things that we've been building up for Libertalia is for everyone who submitted a pre-order launch notification request by Monday, Valentine's Day, for the March 2nd pre-order, we are going to donate $1 to a charitable organization related to the ocean, because Libertalia is set on the ocean. And originally, I made one slight tweak to it at the last minute. That's why I can't tell you that we've actually made the donation yet. We got about 5,300 launch notification sign-up requests. So we're going to donate around $5,300 to a variety of organizations. And when I say variety, I mean that we originally said that there was going to be an organization called Sea Shepherd that we're going to donate to. And I got so many recommendations for other great ocean-based organizations that have different methods than Sea Shepherd for protecting marine biology and protecting the oceans, that I thought I'd give people a choice. And so I sent an email to everyone who signed up for that launch notification on Monday. I believe I sent it on Monday at night, to give them a choice of 3 different charities. And so we're going to kind of, based on what people choose there, we're going to divide up this big donation to a couple different organizations. So I'm excited about that. I don't have the exact breakdown at this point to share with you, but based on what I saw most recently, I think that the biggest donation will still go to Sea Shepherd because that's the default. That's what we said we were going to donate to. But there will also be a sizable amount going to Oceania and Ocean Conservancy. Yeah. So I just wanted to share that with you. I'm excited about that. I know it's a small dent in what it will take to really aid and restore our oceans, but I think every little bit helps, and $5,300 isn't a small amount of money. So yeah, hopefully that'll help. Chad says at his game store, we hold Roll and Write Thursday night every other Thursday, and our next one on the 24th is Rolling Realms. And thanks to Susanna, we have promo realms to give out to our attendees. I love that, Chad. Yeah, for any retailers watching this, we want to support any events that you run for Rolling Realms with promo packs. So feel free to get in touch with Susanna to ask her about that. You can find her at susanna@stonemeyer.com or stonemeyergames.com. And yeah, that way we can support your Rolling Realms events. Mark says that he played Pendulum for the first time last Friday. It might be considered messy, but my friends and I find it interesting. I guess only play it with people that you trust won't cheat. Yeah, Pendulum happens simultaneously. There's a lot of simultaneous play with the timers in the game. And it's a game that as we were playtesting it, we were like, we don't think people are going to intentionally cheat with this game, but they might accidentally make a mistake that might be construed as cheating. And so we tried to eliminate as many possibilities of that as possible, but it is still possible. And yeah, hopefully, I'm glad you had fun with it though, Mark. It definitely is a very different game. Chad says, I know you don't watch reviewers, but Rado was blown away by Libertalia. It's really funny when he gets excited. I know he played the solo mode. That's what I heard. I don't know if he played the two-player mode. I really wanted Rado to play the two-player mode because part of the reason, many of the things that I talked to Paolo about for the two-player mode came from Rado's criticisms of the game at two-player, the original game, and other people's criticisms of the game at two-player. And so I wanted him to have fun with Jen, with Libertalia at two-player, but and maybe he will still play it that way. But I'm glad it sounds like he's having fun with the solo mode. That's great too. James says he's excited about Libertalia and feel that it's perfect for gaming with my friends who aren't people who enjoy the occasional game but aren't hardcore gamers. It looks easy to teach and the interactivity is right up their alley. Yeah, I actually taught Libertalia twice at my game, and I shouldn't. James, thank you for saying that. That's awesome, and I want to confirm yes and that by saying at my game night last Wednesday, I taught Libertalia twice, and some to people who had played the original game, some who hadn't. And the teach is so smooth. It's so easy to teach the game, especially since all players start with the same hand of character cards. And even when you get more character cards in hands, people can easily ask questions about them because they have the same character cards in hand. Really, really easy to teach, and I do hope you have fun with Libertalia in your group. Let's see. I'm a little behind on questions. So if I do questions, they'll come to my topics. Ivan says that he thought that the new version is so much easier to learn. And yeah, that was part of the goal. I wanted to make it the onboarding as easy as possible. Ivan says, unfortunately, there are not many Stonemaier games arriving at his local store. He's still waiting on Red Rising to arrive. Can you see what's happening? Why it's so far hard to find Stonemaier games in the Balkans? Susanna, if you're still watching this, could you make a note of that in the Balkans, that it's hard to find Stonemaier games? That's good to know. It's probably related to, well, I'm almost certainly it's related to distribution, but it's something that we can certainly look into and talk to our distributors about why that is the case, because I think we have Red Rising in stock with distributors for them to distribute to retailers around the world. So yeah, thank you very much, Ivan, for letting me know about that. And if there's a specific store you want us to look into, let me know. Sometimes it is a case of a store not actually ordering the game from a distributor, but if they are trying to order it and the distributor is saying we don't have it, we can definitely look into that and solve that. And sometimes we can solve the retailer side of it as well, especially in the US, not in the Balkans necessarily. Near says, is there a new viticulture expansion announcement that I missed? We have announced that there is a new viticulture expansion coming, but I haven't announced anything about it other than the Mama and Papa cards and how we turn them into pink and blue cards and switched the Papas to the pink cards and switched the Mamas to the blue cards. Darren says, question about design philosophy. He says, so he's following up on his question about if I design a game that wasn't a good fit for Stonemaier Games. He says, for example, what if you have a really good idea for a game that only worked for solo? Stonemaier Games doesn't do solo-only games. Would Stonemaier Games publish it, or would you go elsewhere? That's a good example. I don't know if that would exactly happen. I haven't ever designed a solo game. nor do I play many solo games. But say I did. Say I had a brilliant idea for a great solo game that only worked solo. I mean, my first instinct would probably to be also to make it a cooperative game for multiple players, up to 5 players. And if that really didn't work, and it was like the best solo game in the world, I would probably talk to Morton at Automa Factory about what he thinks about it and what he wants to do with it. We work so closely with Morton, and uh, yeah, I'd probably find some way to collaborate with Morton and eventually hand it off to him to decide if he wants to do something with it. Either publish it independently as Automa Factory, which I don't think they've ever done, or sell it to a company that wants to publish a solo only game. Yeah, I don't know. I think the main point is that I wouldn't spend time on a game that wouldn't be published by Stonemaier Games, and I'm able to determine that right up front at the beginning. Yeah. Logan says, question for Rolling Realms. Is there a clarification of solo rules? Because somewhere I'm not sure how to interpret some of the mini golf special rules. Yeah, Logan, if you have any questions about the rules, post them in the Rolling Realms Facebook group or on Board Game Geek under the Rolling Realms. Create a new thread under Rolling Realms, and our solo experts will be there to help you out whenever you want. We're here all the time to help you out with that. Except for me, because I don't know the solo rules. I'm involved with the multiplayer design of our games, but not the solo aspect. Mario says, am I still working on an open world game or the open world game? Yes. I think I'm working on it for 5 years now. It has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is the year that I'm committed to actually finally finishing it. So you're not going to see it released this year for sure. But I'm hoping to finally finish this game, this massive game, and get it into production by the end of 2022 so it can be brought to you sometime in 2023. I love this game. It's a big game. Yeah. James says, personally, I think some of the people who are stuck on the old version of Libertalia may warm up to the Stonemaier version over time. And also, there are going to be many, many new folks discovering the game for the first time. And I totally agree. I think that's well said, James. I appreciate that perspective, and I hope so. I think the most kind of dismaying thing to me is that if someone looks at the art for the new Libertalia, sees that it's different than the Libertalia that they love, which is totally fine, and just dismisses any idea of even trying the new Libertalia and all the new stuff that we put into it because the look is just a little different. That would be really sad to me because I think we've created a game that Libertalia lovers will love. And so I hope they give it a try. I really do. Tim says that I helped develop Leaders of Euphoria. Do you see something like that happening again? That was a unique circumstance. Yeah, so what happened with Leaders of Euphoria, this was very early in our company. A friend in the industry, Brian, and his company, which they're now called Pull the Pin Games. They had a different name back then. They approached me, or maybe I approached them. I can't even remember. But with the idea of like a large group bluffing social deduction version of Euphoria, not version, but a game set in the Euphoria world, because I thought the dystopian theme would work well for that. And the original idea was that we would publish it. The Stonemaier Games would publish this game, and over time, the game took a little while to develop. I was involved in the development of it, not the design, but the development, the refining process. And over time, I realized that it just wasn't the type of game that fit within Stonemaier Games. We decided to focus on medium weight Euro games and not that style of game. And so we decided to license Euphoria to this other company to publish Leaders of Euphoria, which turned out to be really an amazing large group social bluffing deduction game, if you can still get your hands on it. I really, really like what they did with it, especially since there's a way to get kicked out of the game, but you're not actually out of the game. You're just out of Euphoria. You become a part of a separate group with a separate way to win the game. It's a really cool mechanism. So yeah, that's a kind of an odd example of how I was involved in the development process of a game that ended up being published by a different company. Oh, we have a little incoming treat here. Wonderful girlfriend Megan. Oh, thank you. Oh, look at that. That's video magic right there. She brought me a coffee. Thank you so much, Megan. That's so sweet. Oh. That is a sweet cream cold brew, and it's delicious. Yeah. That's my other chocolate of the day, although it doesn't end up actually having any chocolate in it, but it is delicious. Brandon says, outside shareholders, how does that work? Do people essentially invest as silent investors in Stonemaier Games? Kind of. So we are structured as an S Corp, and as an S Corp, we are allowed to have kind of a structure of that we can kind of define our own structure. And so we have years ago we said, okay, we're going to have a certain number of shares in this company. And originally the shares were just owned by Alan and me. And we decided under this S corp structure that we could also sell some of these shares to bring in outside investors who could own part of the company and reap some of the financial benefits of the company, and also be involved in some of the decisions and discussions that we have around Stonemaier Games. And so silent, silent isn't the right word there because they are very vocal in a very good way. And yeah, that's something that it's not something that I can publicly broadcast. I think I can answer this question, but I can't publicly broadcast it. But yeah, we do have some shareholders, and usually maybe once or twice a year we go through the process of deciding whether or not we want to accept new shareholders. So if that does ever interest anyone that's on here, I would say that the company value is fairly high at this point. So even a single share costs quite a bit of money. But I don't want to make it seem like it's too easy to get into. But if that is something that's interesting to you, you're always welcome to email me and we can talk about that. Mario says, do I expect or desire to create other games in the Galecrest world? I do really like the Galecrest world, and I am intrigued by creating new games in that world in the future. But typically, most of our games exist in their own each individual world. We don't typically explore the same world over multiple games. Yeah. Tim says that there's a My City roll and write coming later this year. Oh, that's fun. That's cool. Eric says, if we wait for the French Libertalia, will it have the Rolling Realms promo pack? That is a great question for Matago. I don't know if Matago made this promo pack for Rolling Realms that's associated with Libertalia. It's a Rolling Realms promo pack. It is not a promo pack for Libertalia. Nicola is here from the UK. He says he's new to watching this live. Oh, thank you for joining us live for maybe the first time, Nicola. He says, what is my chocolate of the day? Yeah, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but it's going to be, I believe the brand is Endangered Species Creamy Milk Chocolate. I think it's 45% milk chocolate. That's probably my favorite percentage. Somewhere in the 45 to 55% is my favorite range for chocolate. Justin says, have I played Tiny Towns? I love it, and Matthew hates it. We're playing it tonight on the stream. I was curious what your opinion of the game is. I really enjoy it. Yeah, I've played it a couple times at conventions only for some reason. I've only played it at conventions. But like Rolling Realms, it's the type of game that you can play remotely with people, which I think is really, really cool. Are you guys setting that up tonight? Are you going to play remotely with other people or just with each other tonight on your Twitch? Tim says, have I played Cartographer's Heroes? Since the original was a hit for us, we're looking into that and Role Player. I know you really enjoyed Role Player Adventures. Love Role Player Adventures, yeah. And I love Role Player. Yeah, so many great games in that universe. I do own Cartographer's Heroes, and I really, really like it. I think it adds some very minor improvements to the original game, but the original game was so good. I think, Tim, if you have Cartographers, I don't know if you need Cartographer's Heroes. Actually, no, this reminds me whose birthday it is today. It's Keith Matesias. I'll just say Keith. Keith, I can never pronounce your last name. But Keith from Thunderworks. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Keith. And Keith, I'm sorry to say that. I really do like both Cartographers. I'm glad to have both in my collection, but they are pretty similar. I don't necessarily think that you need both. I almost see Cartographer's Heroes as a new edition of Cartographers. I can see them maybe retiring the original Cartographers, even though it still stands on its own. Near says, do I like dinosaurs? What's my take on dinosaur games? You know, I do like dinosaurs. I like Jurassic Park. I like the Jurassic World game. What's the first? Jurassic Island and Jurassic World. Or Dinosaur Island, Dinosaur World. I like those games. Although I haven't played one of them. I haven't played the newer one. I wouldn't say I get super excited about dinosaur games, though. Even though I love dinosaurs, I would love if people actually brought dinosaurs back into the real world. I would definitely go to a real world Jurassic Park. But I don't get all that excited about a dinosaur-themed game. Yeah. Antoine says, if I played Arkham Horror LCG, I think the campaign system is great, and I wonder how open you would be for similar card game designs for Stonemaier games. So I have a whole video about LCGs where I talk quite a bit about Arkham Horror. I don't know if it's a model that we'll pursue, although I say that, and we have essentially ended up pursuing that model for Rolling Realms, but we ended up stumbling into that. That wasn't the intention for Rolling Realms. I have played Arkham Horror twice, and it's a game that I respect a lot, but I've tried so hard to enjoy it, and I don't. Yeah, I love that you love it, but it is not a game that is a good fit for me. It's something about that bag. It's a pretty punishing cooperative game. It's just not my style of cooperative game, I don't think. but they do so many creative things with the cards. I think it's a great game for me to study, but maybe not play. Yeah. Hopefully that's a kind way to put it. Okay, chat says that Rado did play the two-player mode and did enjoy it. Well, that's great. I'm glad he at least enjoyed it a little bit. Uh, Tim says he's trying to see what game I should showcase next at your brother's bookstore. This is Tim's local bookstore in Evansville, Indiana. They said a couple weeks ago that every base game other than Charterstone was out of stock for orders. I think it's come back in stock. We did have some big shipments arrive recently. They should be back in stock, yeah, especially if they're ordering directly from us. Again, Susanna is here kind of watching live here, so they could contact Susanna directly to help out with that process. But yeah, I think we have, I don't know offhand, Tim, if we have the wholesale orders in stock on our web store for direct order retailers, but I believe a number of them are, yeah. Chad says Black Sonata. Sonata is an amazing solo game. The blind movement mechanism is simply inspired. Have I played it? I played Black Orchestra, but not Black Sonata. I did recently play a game designed only for solo, but I played it two-player cooperatively. Played Under Falling Skies for the first time and really enjoyed it. Really, really clever game. I have a video about that coming out very soon. And I also just yesterday played Stardew Valley, the board game. And so I have a video about that coming out very soon. And Merchants of the Dark Road, I have a video about that coming out, I believe, this Friday. So two fairly newer games with videos with my thoughts about my favorite mechanisms and some favorite components coming out pretty soon. In fact, I need a note about that. Yeah. Mark says, do I think you would consider a dual version of a Stonemaier game like Tapestry or Scythe? You know, I've debated that over the years, Mark, and so far my answer is probably not. There is one way I think we could do it, and there's a very specific circumstance where it can work, and I'll talk about that later because there's something that we might actually be doing. I don't want to actually spoil it, but it's unlikely. But there is a certain circumstance where I think it can work for us. Yeah. Carol popped in. Carol from Automa Factory here. Carol, who's also helped a huge help with the design of some promo realms that we're doing for Rolling Realms. He's also an expert in Automa and is always happy to help. So thanks you, Carol, for popping up to say that. Darren says, I'll read this out loud. I don't know if I can quite answer it, but he says, is the open world game that I'm making seventh continent-ish in terms of size and cost? It is way bigger than Seventh Continent. I'm hoping the cost will be comparable to Seventh Continent because I think they found a really good, nice cost for that. I do not want it to cost over. I mean, I don't even want to throw out costs right now. I mean, it's too early to tell. But I want it to be an affordable game, like any of our games. I want it to be affordable. So I'm definitely keeping that in mind throughout the design process. But there's a certain constraint that goes into the cost of making it because it is so big. Let's see. Any other topics? So I played disc golf this past weekend. Had a great. It was a pretty epic round of disc golf because we all played really, really well. The conditions ranged from really icy to a nice open field to trees to no trees. There were some water pits. This was at a course called White Birch here in St. Louis, and one of my friends, Paul, got an ace. This is his fourth ace, but it was the first one that all of us that regularly play together got to see it. This is Paul Solomon, who designed the game Honey Buzz, if any of you know that game. He got an incredible ace on hole 15. I think it was 15 at White Birch. And it was so cool to watch it happen because the throw, and he had a great round overall, amazing round. But it was a throw that looked like it didn't quite do what he originally wanted to do, and then it curved, and we all heard this brilliant clang as it hit the basket. Oh man, it's fun to witness an ace or even a great shot in disc golf, whether you're the one throwing it or just being there for one of your friends. One of the things I love about the game. But it was really cool to be there to witness that for Paul on this past weekend. Also last week, I don't have any big Stonemaier Games news to share with you this week, but I've been a part of several playtests for products that we're working on recently. And they've gone over really well. And one thing, I can't tell a story yet, but there's one thing that wasn't meant to be a playtest, but ended up being a playtest. I'll tell that story in the near future, I think. Alex says that he played his first game of viticulture today with Remy Burger. I lost but thoroughly enjoyed it. Another Stonemaier game to add to his collection. Any advice to win? Well, first, I'm glad you played it. Glad you had fun with it, Alex. My major advice for viticulture is to really kind of two split pieces of advice about the cards. Have a plan, but be willing to deviate from that plan at the right moment based on the cards that you draw. It is a game that is just as much about tactics, about the cards that you're drawing, as it is about strategy. And as part of that, remember and pursue a bunch of cards. Get a lot of cards. Get them early in the game so that you have a bunch of options and that you're not backed into a corner. Like, for example, you don't want to wait into the second half of the game to get wine orders, because then you might have developed the wrong types of grapes and wine for those wine orders. Get a few wine orders early so you can plan around them. And also be okay with not playing every card that you get. There should be points in viticulture where you have to discard down to 7 at the end of the year, and that's okay. That's a key decision point in the game. So get a lot of cards and pivot in little ways depending on the cards that you get. Yeah. So Justin says, this is room 51. Justin and Matthew, they are playing, it's not my city. They're playing the other city game. They're playing, Justin, refresh me in the game that I'm blanking on right now. What is the game? Tiny Towns. You're playing Tiny Towns tonight. If you want to play Tiny Towns, go to Twitch tonight for room 51 and play along with your copy of Tiny Towns if you'd like. I can say that Justin and Matthew are a lot of fun to watch when they do these live streams. Nicholas said, oh, that he made it. He says he just registered for Geekway to the West. He says, got any recommendations? Will you be making a promo video? Will you be doing a video on Geekway Mini or any other disc golf or rock climbing plan during Geekway to the West? Lots of questions there, Nicholas. So I love Geekway, Geekway to the West. I didn't go to Geekway Mini, but I will be going to Geekway to the West in May. And this goes for Nicholas or anyone who's watching this. One of my favorite things at Geekway to the West is to go there. This is a convention in St. Louis. To go, and it's a style of convention where you just play a bunch of games. I love to go there and just play new to me games with a lot of different people. And so the thing that I'll do maybe a week or so before Geekway is that I will post a bunch of games that I would love to play at Geekway that I've never played before. And if you happen to know and love one of those games, we can either check it out from the library together, or you can bring it if you own that game, and we can play it together. I would love that. I mean, I really, really love that about Geekway. And also, there are going to be some new releases at Geekway, I'm sure. And so I love playing those games with people as well. And so, Nicholas, I don't like schedule anything for Geekway. I just show up and wander around and find people who want to play games with me, and I play games with those people. But if you want to plan ahead a little bit, if you do want to play a game with me, maybe check out that list a week or so in advance of Geekway. And if there's any games that match up with games that you love, you could plan ahead for those games a little bit. But I don't schedule anything. I won't be doing any disc golf or rock climbing during that time. I'll just be playing games for a couple of days, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. Gary says, what's my favorite theme in gaming? Is there a theme to you? Is there a new to you theme you're thinking of getting into? Yeah, Gary, I actually did a video about this a couple months ago. If you search for themes, I think on my YouTube channel, if you search for themes, you'll see some of my favorite themes. Among them are time travel, heist, and mining, like Dwarven mining style games. I really like that style of games. Those are, I don't even know if I've named actually the top one that was on that list, but those are some that were near like the top 5. Eric says, what are my thoughts on role-player adventures? Eric, check out my YouTube channel for that too, because I have actually 2 videos. I have a video where I talk about my favorite mechanisms for like 10 minutes, and I have a 40-minute video where I delve into just how much I love every aspect of role-player adventures. So I love it. I absolutely love it. It was my favorite game of 2021, and I have some pretty deep dives about it that remain spoiler-free. So feel free to check out both of those videos if you want to see me ramble for a long time about how much I love role-player adventures. Chad says that he just got Charterstone back in stock, and we just got Wingspan back in stock in as well. Direct order from Stonemaier. That's great, Chad. I'm glad to hear that. That's a retailer. Retailers do have the ability to order directly from us if they aren't getting what they need from distributors. Doesn't mean that we always have everything in stock, because sometimes things sell faster than we hope. But in general, that is the case. Hey, Jazz is dropping in today from the Lobby of Hobbies, or the Lobby of Hobbies. He says he's work has been really busy for him. Wanted to just drop in and say hello. I'll have to catch the beginning of this later today. Well, yeah, thanks you, Jazz, for checking out this live stream. Really appreciate that. Darren says, is Libertalia playable as a co-op against the Automa, or does that only work with one player? It does only work. The solo mode for Libertalia is designed only for solo play. Yeah. Okay, Ivan says that his local game store is goblingames.mk. That's their website. He says there are a couple stores in Bulgaria that he sometimes visits. So yeah, thank you, Ivan, for letting us know that information so we can hopefully serve your store, or at least distributors that serve your store, to make sure they can carry our games, especially Red Rising. Red Rising's been out for almost a year at this point. Chad says, am I a dice aficionado? We just discovered the Dice Envy brand and they are really nice. I love custom dice in games. I get really excited about custom dice. But I wouldn't say I get all that excited about random, normal like D6 dice, even if they look really nice. They're ones that I have that I like, but I usually just play with the dice that are in the game itself, and I love when they're custom dice. Yeah. Hey, Paul is dropping in to say a hi. Content creator Paul, incredible content creator and rules expert Paul is dropping in to say hi. He says he just finished another game of Tapestry on Board Game Arena. That's awesome, Paul. We actually just exported the data, or we had someone export the data from Board Game Arena because we are going to do a full analysis of that data and all the data we've collected on our website to do hopefully it won't be big, but we're going to look at every civilization to see if there's anything that we need to adjust. We do these civ adjustments from time to time. So we're constantly learning from player data. It's awesome that you played. And yeah, that data will be very, very helpful for us. Tim says, does my Scythe Legendary box close all the way? Now that I played all of Rise of Fenris, I need to rearrange things better. I think mine does. It's been a while since I've opened that box. That's kind of the weird thing about big boxes. Like they're very helpful for storing everything, but it actually makes things a little bit less portable and a little, it's harder to pull things out of there. So we've kind of designed the Wingspan nesting box around that concept of making it very easy to get stuff out of that box when you want to get to it. But yeah, I think everything fits in my Scythe Legendary box. Chad says, I know you like the base Clank game. Have I played Clank in space? Which do you prefer and why? It's one of those things where I love Clank. I love the original Clank. I love the expansions. I love the legacy version of Clank. I played Clank in Space, I think, twice, and I enjoyed it. I think it's a perfectly fine game, but I don't find it as fun as Clank for some reason. So I really, really like the original Clank, and that's the one that I get excited to play whenever I want to play Clank. Yeah. It's really nothing against Clank in Space, but maybe part of it's the theme. Although I think the sci-fi theme is really cleverly kind of done in a tongue-in-cheek humor style of way in Clank in Space. It's just something more fun about Clank for me. Yeah. Steve says that he really enjoys many of our games. Thank you, Steve. Any chance the Viticulture app on iOS will have an expansion? We'd love to see a Tapestry or Red Rising app. I'm glad you said that. I am waiting to hear back from a company that's supposed to be working on Red Rising, but I haven't heard from them in a little while. And I do think the company that publishes Viticulture on iOS, Digidice, is working on adding some of the expansion contents. So let me follow up with... Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. Okay, Chad says that he added when he added the modular board to the Scythe Legendary box, it no longer quite closes all the way. Chad says, make sure to put Star Wars Outer Rim on my Geekway list. Okay, I will. If it isn't already, I will put it on the list right now. Froyland says, when will you restock the Charterstone Recharge Pack and the board on the Stonemaier store? Froyland, that's a great question. I don't know if we will, to be honest. It's a tough thing to produce at scale, but we need to think about it. Yeah, that's a tough one. Let me think about that. The recharge pack. It's an odd circumstance where we had way too many of them for a while, and we ended up recycling some of them because it was costing us more to actually keep them in stock. And then Charterstone has kind of seen this resurgence, I think partially based on the digital game. And I feel like maybe we're not completely upholding our commitment to have those recharge packs because we recycled some of them and now we are falling out of stock. They're basically out of stock, but they're pretty expensive to make more of. And I don't know how often they'll get used, I think, but maybe we just need to make a small batch of them and make that happen. So I'm glad you mentioned that. We will work on that. Yeah. Eric says, what game am I most excited about, or what games am I most excited about for 2022? And this was actually, let's see if I can pull it back up. I mentioned this on my list of games of 2021. So games, 2022 releases that I'm most excited about: Flamecraft, Earthborn Rangers, Nimiji, Now or Never, which I have received but haven't played yet, Momiji, also which I have received but haven't played yet, The Seventh Citadel, Merchants of the Dark Road, which I have now played, Marvel Dice Throne, Dog Park, The Age of Atlantis, Lands of Galazir, First Ascent, Mythwind, and Planet Unknown, which I have also played but hasn't officially released yet. Yeah. Near says, I said heist. I like heist games. Do I like Lacerta's escape plan? I thought it was fine. I had a good time playing it, but and I learned some things from it. I always learn from playing Lacerta's games, but I wouldn't put it up there on my top heist games list. Yeah. Nicholas says, am I keeping up with your goal of spending time each night on designing? Is it still uncomfortable for you to shift gears from hanging out with Megan to working on boring cardboard and plastic? No, I think we have a good mix of both. Usually we take a dinner break around 6 o'clock, and usually it lasts until around 8 o'clock. Typically we're watching a couple shows during that time. We just finished Search Party, and we just started watching Peacemaker. And then after that, I have a couple hours of design time, and that works out pretty well, pretty much every night. Darren says he has definite feedback on the Between Two Castles app, which I won't share here. What's the best place to give that feedback? Darren, there should hopefully be a place on the app itself to submit feedback, but if there isn't, and you can't find like a place on the digital publisher's website to submit it, it's digitized now. You could also, if you can't find a place on Digitize's website for that, you can also just send it directly to me, and I can bring it to their attention. Yeah. Chad says, am I watching any new shows or reading any new books? He says, I just finished watching Arcane. It was awesome. I'm glad you liked it, Chad. I love Arcane. Like I just said, we just finished watching Search Party on HBO, and now we're watching Peacemaker on HBO. And I'm reading actually Harry Potter fan fiction, a big book about the Marauders. So it's kind of about Harry's dad and when he was a kid at Hogwarts, but it follows Remus, one of the other characters that we see in Harry Potter. And it's a fan fiction called All the Young Boys, I think, because it's following this group of four boys. And it's really, really good. I'm about 30% of the way through. It's a massive book, but I'm really, really enjoying it. I think I wanted some Harry Potter in my life. So, and this is fan fiction that is actually quite good. Tim says, other than digital, is there a chance of anything new for Charterstone in the future? I don't think so. No. Oh, and Darren clarified that he's talking about the Between Two Cities app. So yeah, that is not digitized. That's a different company. And ideally, you would submit it directly to that digital publisher, Darren. But if not, you can email me, and I will make sure that company gets it. Yeah. Mark says, do I have a favorite game with a programming game mechanism? And I really like Mechs vs. Minions. That one comes to mind right off the top of my head. I think the chaos of programming works well in a cooperative game. Yeah. All right, I think we're at the end of our time today. I do have to go, but I love that you spent this time with me. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the near future. Have a great Wednesday, great week, and and take care. Bye.